Hello everyone. This video recording is a briefing session for SIPs, partner schools and EAS staff for September 2024. For those of you who weren't able to make the range of workshops we offered on the incremental updates to the school support overview and NOA system. Last year's detailed recording is also available in the presentation. I'll show you where to find the presentation moment, and this will be added in as well. So the key change this year is an evolution of the NOA into a bilingual school support overview. So all the system infrastructure over the toggle can be changed from English to Welsh and back again if required at any stage. It can, of course, at this stage translate on demand the language that you put in and the entries put in because Excel cannot cope with that, but the system interface is bilingual. So as well as that, I want to outline the purpose of the NOA, which is ultimately to record our work on behalf of local authorities, all the funded activity that takes place. This is the only single source of recording all of that information. And we have tried over the last few years to evolve more of it into one system rather than have dispersed information in too many places. Key guide for me is to go through the access guide to tell you where to find a section on that, on synchronization with File Explorer, but then to give a practical walkthrough and demonstration of use. This video probably be about 15-20 minutes, no more. Reminder of the access guide, that's been updated. It's about 8 pages long. It's got all the detail that you need in order to set up and use and access the system. It doesn't tell you the what you need to do. It tells you the how you need to do it because it's a technical guide. It's aimed at EAS staff, SIPs, partner schools and local authority staff for accessing the information as well. Key is the email that's on there that if you've got any ongoing technical concerns, the Learning Intelligence team, I'm sure you know the email by now, are more than willing to help and respond to you. And if they can't help, they'll escalate it to the right people so that we get you support, and can even arrange, if you're having difficulties that over a prolonged period of time, can arrange one-to-one troubleshooting. They're there as well should you not be able to find anything, should you have some synchronization issues which are significantly reduced from the past. But if you have got those issues where you feel you've lost information, report it to that email address. The sooner the better. The synchronization, I won't do a demonstration of this on this video, but what it does, it allows you, should your system allow it, there are some restrictions by SRS in some local authorities which prevent OneDrive from running. OneDrive is the software that is needed to access this. If you put a call into them, they can open that up, but call us if you're not sure, email Learning Intelligence and we can talk you through it. It just means that you don't have to log in time and time again unless you're at home, where you will need that hub multi-factor authentication, which I'm sure you're all familiar with by now. So that's synchronization. Just a reminder of processes, the fall from last year, the support plan, the notes of activity, the supported self-evaluation, the pre-inspection commentary has now morphed into a summary self-evaluation, and that's how it's documented in the documents. Those are the key parts for SIP, no significant changes from last year. For EAS teams and partner schools, you'll just be using the notes of activity, the partner school provider tab if you are working with multiple schools, or in some cases the one in other schools for those in intensive support, and possibly, again, usually for schools in intensive support, supported self-evaluation. So the single plan progress overview looks like this. Much of it will be pre-populated, particularly all the school data. And if you are a partner school in any of those areas, they'll be populated there as well. You've then got a statement for the self-evaluation plan, you've got the support plan itself, and you've got the SDP progress that you would do at the end of every term, highlighting the progress that's been made by the school on an on-track, not on-track basis with a very brief evaluative commentary on it. What we're after, as ever in these forms, is to be as succinct as possible, because that's what Excel suits, rather than loads and loads of verbose notes on everything. It is trying to cut to the chase. The notes of activity sheet, it's minor changes. The academic year has changed over, but the whole principle is exactly the same. We have asked for whole names on the provider, whole names on who the school lead is, just so we're able to identify exactly who's participating in meetings. Sometimes initials just aren't enough, but the remainder, the intent, implementation, and crucially impact are exactly the same. And you do have the opportunity in these to go back and evaluate the impact months and terms later than you've actually undertaken the activity, to look at impact at the end point and later on, and include those in the supported self-evaluation. Key points: it doesn't have to be opened in the Excel app, although if you synchronize, that's what it will open in automatically. They're a reminder that they can be used to record any important activity, even a phone call, if required. And I say if required because it means you are not going to or record a phone call to organise a meeting, for example. However, if you have a phone call where important things are agreed and you've both agreed that you'll undertake activity by a certain time, then it may be worthwhile to record that within the NOA, within the school support overview, so you have evidence for that. I mentioned before, it's succinct, clear descriptions. The other thing is that if it's a multiple activities within a visit, particularly perhaps a day-long visit as a school improvement partner, you may in the morning be undertaking supported self-evaluation activity. In the afternoon, you're doing performance management with the governors. You would record that on two separate lines because they're very distinct activities, obviously interconnected. Also, if you're undertaking a visit multiple people, perhaps the SIP plus a team member or the SIP plus a PSIP, then you need to write those down separately, separate lines by each person. So we actually collect who's been in school. They may be varying degrees of the volume that you put on those, but please include both. These are the main changes summarized in one slide. We've added, the guidance notes have been all improved and clarified and reflect the current situation. G3 has been added because it's there for school support partner schools in particular. The minor changes: the school detail pages is complete, the specific date box is there and drop down to say yes or no whether completed. There's changes to reflect STIN changes to the 3 inspection areas, and the updated STP priority drop-down has been changed to reflect those 3 inspection areas. So, for example, leadership is no longer an option, but leading and improving obviously is. And then the STP priority box is matching the partner schools, and the partner schools tab fully mirrors the NOA so that the data is pulled in periodically by Learning Intelligence from one to the other, so it's all in one place for a school. The NOA is a continuation. We have kept the entries from last year just so you can see that running log. We intend to do the same next year as well, and the import from partner schools tab will match. Languages and drop downs match. The SSE the LA focus element has been removed, but that will continue as in previous years with 3 termly updates expected. What we have included, and you'll be pleased to see this, is we've imported the ones from last year, and they're all orange tabs. So there are various orange tabs to save you opening last year's SSO document, so you can see what was written, exactly the same as the pick from last year. The final bit, the SOAP, the school on a page, same as 23-24. That's just information, contextual data, engagement data. It's same except the new section on initial teacher education and data that we have there. It says on there new versions uploaded all this week, but that's historically been done, so new versions should be there. In terms of the tab layout, I'm including the new ones. I'm not including the orange ones, which are from last year and interspersed. I'll show you on the brief demonstration. The 5 guidance tabs. You then have the support plan for the SIP to complete and SIP to drive on with the head teacher, but may request information from teams as well. But teams will need to be, informed of that. The NOA for a variety of people to input. You notice I say some partner schools because that's only partner schools who are working intensively one-to-one with another school. Most partner schools will put all the information in their own SSO, and that will be ported over to the old school, the recipient school periodically. You've then got the supported self-evaluation exactly the same as last year for the 3 terms to be completed by the SIP. You then have an SSE other, which may optionally be completed. The majority of schools won't have these completed, but if in intensive support, then those may be requested by the SIP. So we have clear evaluation of strategies that have worked and how they've supported the school. The self-evaluation summary completed by the SIP with the head teacher, but based on the old pre-inspection commentary, but now aligned to the 3 areas, not the 4 we previously had. By 4, I don't mean 4 inspection areas. They were just labeled as 4 separate areas before. And then you have the school on a page automatically populated by learning intelligence. That's information to give you rather than anything for you to do. And the school details, which we want to sort of continue and encourage the use of. We'd ask the SIP to be asking head teachers, are there any changes? Can you tell us who your leadership team are, so that we can contact them directly as required, and by doing that, giving permission to do that, so we can contact and teams can contact as well. So before a very brief demonstration, and what I want to include in this demonstration of the simple bits of copying and pasting from Word can be complex. The partner school sheet and copying down can be very useful. Date formats, particularly if you're using Excel online, can be problematic. So you need to enter in American, but it'll convert to the British, or as in when you see in the demonstration, putting in the month in the full version will certainly help. So that was it in terms of the presentation. Reminder of the SharePoint access guide in exactly the same place, both on Hub. You have them there available for you, and the guide is there. And then on to the SSO itself. You have the start page exactly as it was before, but with extra information on the school on a page and the needs of partner schools. You have the tab at the top to convert from English to Welsh, and that will convert on every single page, so all the language around it will convert. I'll convert that back to English for the purposes of this demonstration. You have the 5 guidance tabs. I'll go through them briefly. I'm not going to go through the content of these because you can read these, and in your particular workshops on the content, this will be covered. G1 on the general support plan, G2 on how to complete the NOA, G3 is the new one for how to complete all the elements for a partner school, G4 is the one for the SIP for completing the self-evaluation, and towards the end you have the G5, which is the self-evaluation summary, formerly the PEC. So in terms of the support plan, most populated, you have the self-evaluation school development plan, you have the STP priorities, which are now on 3 separate options rather than ones that were there before. If, for example, you have SDP priorities, and I'll show you this on the support plan in a moment. So if I go to the SSO workshops, within this guide, what I'm going to do is take 4 lines of text. So if I take those 4 lines of text, copy them, go into the Excel, left click where I want to paste it, right click and paste, it will paste all 4 of them into separate rows because it thinks and knows from the word that those are 4 separate bits of information. Very useful here is Control Z. Control Z will do the same as the undo button, but it's a quick way of doing it. Regularly use Control Z, and that will take those out and undo your last step, and you can do it several times. Instead, I click on the box I want to paste into. I then click on the formula bar at the top, right click and paste. Doesn't look like much is in there, but if you drag the formula down, it will appear much larger. Press enter, and it all goes into one tab, one cell within Excel. We've kept the feature in the SSO that actions that it will record in red. Actions here. What do you intend to achieve? And how you will know. And who the support provider is listed here, or the support area, and then the plan days are there. That's how to complete the best way to the support plan. You may well need to edit that support SDP priority description. You've then got whether on track or not on track, and a description to be completed on a termly basis. That's the SSO support plan. In terms of the NOA, previous ones will be there. I've done one example line for you already. The date is the same. You've got the drop-down boxes of the 3 areas. Please don't enter dates in the future, otherwise you will get a message which says not within range. This is to stop erroneous dates going in. But if we want to put the 20th of September, you don't have to put these in order either. They will be reordered by Learning Intelligence. That put them in the order of date. That's fine, because you can't insert new lines. Full names, but then you can use initials there. Length of activity, there is a drop down, but you can type them in if you want to be quick. Physical, there is a drop down again, and then the intent, and exactly as we did before. If you do want to do multiple lines, you can hold that part that you want to copy down and copy down. Yeah, it puts the dates in automatically. You'll notice one assumption it's made incorrectly is that I want to fill series. So it's grown the number of dates, it's grown the number of hours. If I don't want that, there is a tiny little icon right at the end here, which I click on and do copy cells, and it puts it in the right format that you want. You may then be able to write these things individually. It's more likely that on the Partner School tab, you're likely to want to use that. And on the Partner School tab, you can do exactly the same to create multiple entries and complete in exactly the same way. The final parts are the school-supported self-evaluation, exactly the same as last year, although we do have continuation cells. The reason for that is because each row is limited to 400 points long, whatever that is. It's about a third of a screen. We can't extend it beyond that because of the limitations of Excel. Therefore, if you do want to write more, we're not encouraging it. We're not saying you have to, but if you do want to, because we know many of you do, there are other lines there to do it. Exactly the same on SSE other, but without the continuations, because we found they're generally not needed on those because they're simpler documents. You will note then 2 more orange tabs, which are last year's, so you can see what's happened last year. You've then got the guidance for G5. You've then got the self-evaluation summary, which is the new name for the PIC evidence, and you've got then the old PIC commentary from the past. So a whistle-stop tour of the information within a whole SSO. Final 2 parts are not parts to complete, but the school on a page is contextual data, inspection outcomes, training that's been on. Those are not populated yet, but they will be on the data from last year shortly. And then finally, school details and information that you have. So the system as a whole, guidance embedded throughout. The main change is that switch from English to Welsh for Welsh medium schools, which you hope you will find useful for yourselves and governing bodies, that you can switch between the two. So from us, hopefully that's a useful tour of the system. The presentation is there, the guidance is there, it's on Hub. Email Learning Intelligence if you can't find out any of that, and we'll be more than happy to help at any stage. Or if you are not certain of what you're doing in the future, please let us know and we'll be there to help. Diolch yn fawr iawn pawb.